In a world where power often speaks louder than potential, sometimes the most unexpected people hold the greatest genius. Billionaire tech mogul Richard Langford was known not just for his ruthless business sense, but for his legendary Friday night poker games. Hosted in his sprawling estate, the table was always filled with powerful name CEOs, athletes, and old money elites, all there to compete, gossip, and place outrageous bets. On one such evening, Richard's personal driver, Jerome, arrived late, visibly apologetic as he opened the car door. "Sir, I apologize," Jerome said softly. "My babysitter cancelled last minute. I had no choice but to bring my daughter." In the back seat sat a 12-year-old girl with large glasses, braided hair, and a thick book resting on her lap, one that read Advanced Probability and Game Theory. Richard raised an eyebrow, then smiled. "What's your name?" "Nilla," she replied with quiet confidence. "Smart kid," he laughed, stepping inside. "Come in if you like. We're just playing some cards." Inside, the poker room buzzed with energy. Crystal glasses clinked, cigars burned slowly, and chips stacked high in the middle of the velvet table. Jerome tried to keep his daughter out of the way, settling her in a corner with her book. As the night wore on, Richard noticed her watching the game intently, not distracted, not fidgeting, but tracking every card, every move, every bluff. Feeling amused and maybe a little cocky, Richard looked over and grinned. "Hey Nilla, wanna play a hand just for fun?" The room laughed. A child playing poker with billionaires, it had to be a joke. But Nilla looked up, calmly closed her book, and stood up. "Sure," she said. "Do you mind if I shuffle?" The table went quiet. One guest raised an eyebrow. "You know how to play, sweetheart?" Nilla smiled politely. "I've studied it, yes. I like numbers. And patterns." Someone chuckled. "This'll be cute." Richard motioned for the dealer to step aside. "Let her sit." Nilla shuffled the cards like a pro. Fluid, clean, methodical. She dealt with ease, her eyes scanning the players like a chess master setting up her board. The first hand, she folded. The second, she bet small and won. By the fifth hand, she had doubled her chips. Soon, the laughter faded. Guests began glancing at each other nervously. She wasn't just good, she was calculating every move like she'd written the rules. Richard leaned forward. "How do you learn all this?" "My dad gave me an old poker book when I was 8, Nilla said. "I started solving equations behind the bets. It's just probabilities, really. Reading people comes next." A celebrity at the table narrowed his eyes. "This isn't just math. It's instincts." Nilla nodded. "I've been watching all of you for an hour. You scratch your temple when you bluff. He taps his ring when he's got a good hand. You check your watch when you're nervous." Silence. She wasn't just a kid with a talent. She was a prodigy. By the end of the night, Nilla had won every guest's respect and a sizable stack of chips. She pushed them back politely. "I don't gamble for money." "But thank you." Richard was stunned. He looked at Jerome. "Why didn't you tell me your daughter was a genius?" Jerome shrugged humbly. "She teaches herself. I just try to keep up." Richard leaned back, clearly shaken in the best way. "She shouldn't be in the back seat of my car. She should be sitting in a boardroom. Or a university." That night, everything changed. A week later, Richard announced he was funding a full scholarship for Nilla to attend any prep school and university she chose. Not only that, he created a new mentorship program for underprivileged youth with high IQs named the Nilla Initiative. What began as a joke, a rich man inviting a driver's daughter to the table, became a turning point that changed lives. Because brilliance doesn't care about where you're from. It only needs a seat at the table, and someone bold enough to play.